Good evening, I'm Jasmine Reduce. A state of disaster emergency declared as a major winter storm bears down on Kansas, bringing ice, snow, and Arctic cold temperatures. Freezing rain and drizzle fell today, making treacherous travel across the state. Police, sheriff's deputies, and state troopers worked numerous wrecks and slide-offs, stretching their resources thin. Tonight, we have team coverage. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman in the Storm Track 3 Weather Center. Lisa, this storm is ramping up and blizzard warnings take effect for many counties overnight.
And Jasmine, when we're talking about blizzard warnings, the wind is going to become a factor that will be a growing concern after midnight. So we've been having this accumulation on trees and power lines. Now you add in winds gusting from 40 to more than 50 miles per hour, then the change over to heavy snow. We're going to have some problems. We're probably going to have power outages. We're going to have blizzard-like conditions that will reduce visibility on area roadways. So travel tonight into tomorrow, definitely not advised, especially in these areas. Portions of I-70, Hayes to the Kansas City Metro, down toward Wichita, back toward Medicine Lodge, Dodge City, and Pratt. Blizzard warning goes into effect at 3 a.m. It is going to take time tomorrow for these counties to be lifted from the west to the east as this potent low-pressure system tracks south of us. Winter storm watch in the pink. This is where the highest accumulations of ice and snow will take place. Also to the south, the winter weather advisory in purple, also along the Colorado state line. Less snow, less ice, but still some issues on area roadways that will cause some slick spots. Updated ice potential. This has not changed a whole lot. Anywhere from Hutchinson to Newton, especially along Highway 50 over toward Emporia, more than 3/10 of an inch. There will be some places here seeing about 1/2 of an inch of ice. And then surrounding this, 1/4 to 3/10 of an inch. But needless to say, just about every square inch of the state is going to see some light icing. And when it comes to the snowfall, heaviest snowfall accumulations from Hayes to Great Bend, Salina, Concordia, and Manhattan, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Some places could see more than a foot of snow through tomorrow. Around the Wichita area, 2 to 4, but higher accumulations in the northwest part of the county. When I return, I'll take you through this storm hour by hour, but I want to bring in meteorologist Lucy Dahl for a look at some of the icing reports that we've received into the weather office so far today. Lucy.
Well, Lisa, ice has been accumulating for the better part of our Saturday. Some of the highest totals coming from Thomas County and Colby, where they saw 4/10 of an inch of ice so far into this evening. Russell Airport also reporting about 0.34 of a tenth of an inch of that ice. Ice accumulations continuing to build. And once we start to see ice accumulations over about 2/10 of an inch, that's when we run into issues. That light glazing is going to make bridges icy. But once we start to get into about even 3/10, dangerous road conditions as roads completely coated in ice. That's what's causing a lot of the slide-offs that we've seen today. And then when we get over 1/2 an inch of ice, that's when we see widespread power outages from that ice accumulating on power lines. And then as winds picked up, as we're expecting them to through the rest of the night, could easily cause some impacts across the Sunflower State, especially after midnight. As Lisa mentioned, we do have blizzard warnings in place for a large portion of the region. A blizzard warning gets issued when we have winds gusting over 35 miles per hour, considerable falling or blowing snow, and visibility is reduced to less than a 1/4 of a mile as we continue on for 3 or more hours. That's near whiteout conditions, and that's expected across Kansas for the day on Sunday. So please avoid any travel if you can. But if you do plan on heading at least out into your front yard, maybe safely, you can send us photos, either email them to connect3@ksn.com, or we do have a weather gallery on the homepage of KSN that you can submit those photos through. But please be careful if you plan on heading out and avoid roadways if you can. We'll continue to bring you updates on who might see the most of the snowfall coming up in your Storm Track 3 forecast. Jasmine.
Lucy, thank you. As the conditions worsen, law enforcement is urging everyone to stay home. Don't drive if it's not absolutely necessary. Many didn't heed that warning and went out today only to end up in the ditch. There were so many crashes in north central Kansas. KDOT closed I-70 for a bit. KSN's Peyton Steiner spoke to a state trooper and tow truck driver who are working overtime to help stranded drivers out.
Jasmine, if you look in any direction during the storm, you're bound to see flashing lights and cars and trucks veered off of roads. It's so bad that one state trooper I spoke to said these are some of the worst conditions he's seen in his 17-year career. I spent the day riding along with one tow truck driver as he worked one of these slide-offs.
This is every bit as much as driving on a skating rink.
Rain and freezing temperatures mean busy days for first responders.
I'm on crash number 5 now in about 4 hours. And we have multiple crashes throughout the region in this area, not just in the Salina area, but all around the region.
When cars and trucks slide off roads, that's when tow recovery technicians like Lee Frace start their day.
Today, I came for one semi, it turned into 3.
3 semis, all in one crash.
The ice caught him and he just slammed into the back of the one I was working on. And so now we are trying to winch him out. I just heard my phone dinging some more for some more calls.
Towing uphill in an ice storm, making his job particularly difficult.
The precarious positioning of the truck, having trouble hooking it because it's so far canted and I can't use its own power to get it in an ideal position.
But after some careful maneuvering, on to the next one.
Hey, we're here to help. That's why we're here, you know? We're giving skills and equipment to help people, and that's what we're gonna do. So that's why I'm here, at least. So, yeah, so do the best we can.
These crashes are challenging first responders all over, but if you have to drive, the advice is universal.
Best bet is stay home, just ride it out at home if you can, and if you have to travel, again, drive extremely slow.
And with temperatures continuing to drop, crews are in for a long weekend. Businesses here are closing and so are the roads. Again, stay off the roads if you can help it, but if you have to be out, do it very slowly. KHP encourages anybody who's out right now to keep a kit with warm clothes and food in their car just in case. Here for you in Salina, Peyton Steiner, KSN News 3.
This is a look at the roads in Wichita right now. As you can see, Kellogg through Wichita and the I-235 and I-135 and K-96 are all partially covered. That means the roads and bridges are icy, so drive safe out there. Meanwhile, with the winter storm moving in, Evergy is already seeing customer outages. 8 are without power in the Wichita area. The most affected area is Franklin County. They are seeing almost 1,800 people without power. Cars, SUVs, and pickups aren't the only ones having a hard time navigating the icy roads. A fire truck rolled in Ellsworth County. State troopers say it had its lights and sirens on when it lost traction on I-70 and landed on its roof. A 19-year-old man was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. McConnell Air Force Base will be on mission essential reporting status tomorrow. The base is open, but there will be limited services and operations. Military members and civilians can check their status with their chain of command, while contract personnel should check with their authorities on whether they need to report.